Hi, I'm Em. I'm 30 years old, and I'm currently in the process of figuring out a new life after spending over 6 years working as a lawyer, and ultimately deciding to move on to try new things. On this channel, we talk a lot about things we've figured out, or at least made good progress figuring out, whether it's stuff like improving productivity or navigating internships or how to meal prep. But what about the stuff we haven't figured out? The stuff that we're still very much in the thick of? Because no one has literally everything figured out, even if it might look like that from the outside. I was actually just talking to a close friend about this, about the tendency to only want to share issues we've largely managed to deal with already, but not so much ongoing issues we're still grappling with, where we don't even know yet how or if we're going to come out on the other side. It applies to pretty much anything, whether it's career doubts, relationship problems, body image issues, or an existential crisis. It's easier to talk about something when you've resolved it and have a nice, tidy little package to present to the outside world. But what about the part that comes before that? The actual process, the part that's not so tidy or presentable, but is really the meat of the matter. Take where I am right now, for example. I don't mean physically, but in life. I'm in the in-between, shifting from one phase, the phase where I dedicated over 11 years to law school and working as a lawyer, to a new phase. But I'm not quite there yet because I'm still figuring out exactly what that is. I learned recently there's actually a term for this: liminal space. Liminal spaces exist both physically and psychologically. A physical liminal space is one that we've all been in before. They're spaces you pass through on your way from one place to another, like a hallway, or a doorway, or a bridge, or an airport. A psychological liminal space is actually also one we've probably all been in before. It's the transition between the ending of one part of your life and the beginning of the next part. That could be transitioning from graduating to working, moving from one city to another, or what I'm experiencing now. Kind of like a hallway or a doorway, which isn't usually the destination people typically want to display photos of. This in-between stage I'm in didn't seem very presentable either. It's why I came up with this idea for a video about 6 months ago, and then I sat on it. But in the end, it felt like something was missing if I didn't also show you guys this part. And instead, I just made a video a year later about the 5 things I learned from changing careers or something like that. Because this right now, figuring out what's next, this is the hard part. There are a lot of unknowns being in this liminal space. It's not like there weren't any when I was working as a lawyer either, but the unknowns felt capped because there was always someone to tell me what needed to be done, what was next, what was good or bad. There was structure determined by external factors. Now, I'm learning to navigate the other side, when you remove that structure and you're left with a wide open expanse as to how you use your time. You want to work 20 hours in a day or 2? Up to you. You want to start work at 8 a.m. or 1 a.m.? Up to you. You want to film a video, work out for 3 hours, start a podcast, fly to another country, binge watch Netflix, write a book? Up to you. It's the paradox of choice. When you have too many options, it becomes harder to choose and easier to overthink, trying to figure out what you should spend your time doing. The result can be analysis paralysis, the inability to make a decision from overthinking and fearing choosing the wrong option. At the same time though, if I don't take action, then I can be sure of one thing, that nothing will happen. And I know that nothing happening won't help me move through this liminal space and figure out what's next. It's easier said than done, of course, and there's so many different issues to grapple with, overthinking being just one of them. So I thought it might actually be good to document this in-between stage of my life for the next year and bring you guys along. I don't know what will happen, but whatever it is, I think it'll be real. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Unlike a lot of our other videos, there's no list of tips or lessons or some grand conclusion. And true to what I was just saying, I'm trying not to overthink what I say here either. All it really is just you and me and the space in between.